Yep.
Ah, Craw, you've returned.
Yeah, I'm back.
Welcome back. Anything to report?
It's wet. It's dark.
True.
Outside of that, most of the town hasn't seen the prince after the dinner. Lunch. Whatever.
Okay. What
That's
is it? Go ahead.
strange. Oh, so is that strange? You can go ahead.
Is that what Miss Arsis was mainly asking her about?
Also about rebels.
You find any?
No.
Do you know why she's looking for a Apple's girl?
She mentioned to get friends.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. He'd go to one of the basins and the communion basin, basically, and begin to take out his bracers that he had in his back pocket and begins to clean up blood and ichor off of it within the basin.
Brooklyn looks at Ambrosia. Looks back at Crow. Did you run into any difficulties?
No, not difficult.
Any confrontations?
Yes.
What happened?
I beat them.
Who?
Men taking interest in Arsis.
So you're taking the bodyguard role quite seriously. That's good.
Said that they sent regards to Matt.
Oh.
I think they're just trying to hurt, and leave us bloody.
How does he look? Like, does he look like
He's not injured.
dinged up? So I take it, the inverse happened. You left them bloody?
No, I left them dead.
Oh. Good. More matter.
Bertha
What
sighs.
what happened to the bodies?
I don't leave bodies.
That's good. No trail. Where's Ossis?
Waiting out front for me to give an all clear.
It is raining, you know. Maybe you should invite her in before, cleaning your braces?
Need to make sure you are you.
Ren looks at himself. Looks at Ambrosia. Ambrosia, are you you?
Yes, I'm me.
I'm pretty sure I'm me.
And Matt is him. He's over in the pews. No, he's not in the pews. He went for a walk, that's right.
What is my name?
Craw.
Why are we here?
To find out the truth about Thomas Rain.
He then points at Rabbi. Where did we first meet?
You and I think it was at the dinner. And then we had a conversation here shortly afterwards. You were telling me some interesting things about the princess and the demon.
I killed your horse.
I don't have a horse, so good job with that.
Alright. He then
Did you kill
does
someone's horse?
a whistle. And it's loud and piercing. And after the whistle, Arsis would peek her head into the doorway before walking in herself.
Rabbi bows. Commander?
Arsis, Ambrosius smiles at Arsis.
We're back.
Welcome back.
I hope everything went well for everyone else's missions today.
Well would be a strong term. But, I'll be happy to report in full either now or when everyone gets back. It's up to you.
I will do the same. I definitely have news.
Then let's hear it now.
Okay.
She then looks towards Craw, who gives her a nod. I tested him like you said. I'm gonna go find Matt.
I think he's out back. And mind the grave. And you have to fiddle that in.
He nodded before taking the gauntlets out of the water, leaving the red paste that was left there inside, before walking towards the back, putting his gauntlets away.
Are you sure we should say everything now? Shouldn't we wait for the others first, so we don't have to repeat everything?
There's no harm in repeating. If it's important information, it's needed to know.
That's right. Also give some more time to think about it.
Very well. If you don't mind, I did find out the fate of Thomas Rain.
Good.
According to Trendia, that is the real Rain. He isn't a Gish or undead. It's really him. He's alive.
How?
I don't know. Trendia didn't know how either. She just said he was alive. I'm just as confused.
And you're certain she's certain of this?
Yes. She seemed absolutely convinced.
Okay. Then what of Akiyama and Mirnok then? Have they returned?
Not yet.
No.
And how did you come across this before her? Or them?
Trendia's... Fuck, I forgot what her organization is called. Fuck. Like what she's affiliated with.
Scabbards.
Scabbards, right. She's a scabbard, remember? I reunited with her and she filled me in.
I see, so you didn't actually see Rain then.
No. Not myself.
Well, that information might be tenuous at best. We can use it for as much as it can for now until we find anything else to say otherwise.
Very well.
I respect your trust in your sister, but she is a snake.
That's fair. I do have more news, but if Robbie has anything he wishes to report, he can go ahead.
A measured success on my and Matt's part. We made contact with several prominent council members. Two of them seem quite friendly and honestly opposed to Thomas Rain's entire existence. So, good people for a Kiyomoto approach. Another two, well, one I couldn't speak to directly originally. One, unfortunately, I came in a little bit too aggressive, scared them off. And the first, Matt killed his wife. So that's going to be a complicated matter. Don't worry, we took care of the body, but unfortunately has since disappeared.
So it's around this time that it actually hits what you just said, and then she looks at you. Really the first time her demeanor's been cracked in a while since being on her roll. Matt did what?
Yes, the individual, Councilman, what's his name? Let me check my notes.
As she leaves, going back towards the back room as well.
Dorim's wife. Well, I think that went well.
The scene transitions back to Matt. The comfort that you had resting would get snapped to attention at the sound of heavy footprints making the way back to you. As you're immediately put on edge, the first thought in mind is the guards coming to arrest you for being a murderer. The second immediate thought is Albie coming to finish the job.
Yeah, I was gonna say he immediately snaps to a straight position and then draws his gun.
You watch as a shadow comes down the hall, standing at that impressive height with the two horns sticking out. As Craw would turn the corner, see you near the center of the garden, his hands held up and walking towards you, as the intimidating figure of the devil would pierce the darkness of the late night, his two eyes seemingly glowing purple in the dim hues. It's me. It's really
Matt
me.
will shakily lower his gun.
No. Point it at me.
He just stares wide-eyed at Craw.
Make sure it's me.
He will shakily raise the gun, but it's not really pointed that much towards Craw.
You need to make sure that it's me.
How do I know?
You need to find out how to know. Something only I know. Something not only we know. Hurry, he says as he's slowly making an approach towards you. Hands still
Oh
up.
god, wait. Oh no, I don't know if he's ever said. Has he said it out loud at least once?
Said what out loud?
What he calls him?
Yes.
Um, what do you call me? When
That's-
no one else is around?
It's not good enough.
It's not.
I mumble that in my sleep and you know it.
Yeah, but nobody necessarily knows it's me.
He would come now in the light that is slightly showing through the sky. As you can see that his form is splattered in blood. That doesn't look like it's his own. His hands are currently bruised from impacts, and it looks like he in himself is unharmed, but as you're able to see his face more, it looks like he is, if anything, very tired.
Matt's grip on the gun would falter a bit when he sees Craw like that. What happened?
Crawwood finished the distance and put a hand on, both his hands on Matt's shoulder. Before reaching down with one of his hands and picking the gun up and just casually, like, placing the barrel underneath his chin. Your angels are using shapeshifters.
Oh.
They came for Arsis and me. Mainly her.
There's genuine terror in Matt's eyes when he hears that. Is she hurt?
No. She isn't.
Are you?
No. And yes. He'd take a knee. They didn't touch her, but I got hit multiple times. Their weapons didn't hurt me. But my heartbeat has been beating extraordinarily fast since that encounter.
What did they do?
I don't know.
Do I think he's could be possibly poisoned?
You can assume whatever your character assumes.
I don't know if there's a way to check. Are are you poisoned?
Didn't think I could be. guess I was wrong.
Should I? I look him over.
Make a search check.
Okay.
You can go ahead and describe how you're searching for a entry point.
Just like feeling around and looking around his body and stuff.
At that point, he stops doing the grip hold of your gun towards under his chin, and you begin to search his form. And it's not until you find just at a point of his pants, just under his rib cage, a single cut that barely broke skin. But seemingly the wound area is turning a darker color, and the flesh on the inside of the wound seems to be a pussy white.
This doesn't look good.
Oh, they did hit me. Fuck. He say as he collapses on his side next to you.
Matt will immediately start yelling for help.
Which around this time Arsis comes around the corner, looking like she's sad before seeing the scene with Craw fallen over, as that then turns into worry as she runs towards the two of you, ripping off her gloves and attempting to use her magic to heal him. Which... that would fall on Philip to roll that.
Oh, it's been a while. Alright.
Been a while.
Indeed it has.
God, it's been a while since we did that. It's been a while bit.
Alright, what do you want me to roll?
What do you want to roll? What do you think she can
All
do
right.
to save this man?
Look at these spells. Decide someone around is not prone. Okay, this one. Let's see if she makes it. She does! Unless that's using another spell cast.
Nope, she makes that.
Okay.
So you can describe the scene, Philip.
Okay. Well, Arsis rushing to Kraw's aid, kneels down, taking off her gloves, holding her hands over his wound. She starts, she starts talking under her mouth. You hear words invoking guiding wings, righteous hands and such, and cleanse this body of all filth. And with lights being emanated from her palms, whatever poison was in Craw starts to recede out of him, seemingly. The white pus and gooiness comes out, and holding it up in her hands, she then closes them as the light fades, and then when she opens them back up, nothing's there.
Which, it's around this time at the end of that display, the other two in the room are in the back room. Ambrosia and Rabbi, you would run in just as she'd close her hand and the light fades to reveal nothing there. Cross still on his side, though.
What happened?
Is he okay?
It seemed to be a poison. I believe I was able to remove it. She leaned down to touch Crawl, and he seems to be sweating profusely and breathing heavily.
He was poisoned? By who? And how?
Probably one of the angels. He said you guys are running into them.
Hey, angels, are we talking? Kind of like subtly points towards Ambrosia.
Brosia frowns at that. So you
But
did catch on that.
Hmm?
Yes,
That shakes his head.
we ran into more of the devil trumpets.
Angels' trumpets.
He dealt
It's
with
a
them.
gang.
Oh, a gang. Oh, I see.
We dealt with them, but I didn't think they were much of a match. They didn't even seem to harm him.
Well, apparently they did.
They know how to play dirty.
But you got the poison out. He should be fine now, right?
He should be. I don't know how long he was fighting it. We were attacked about an hour ago.
Is there anything else we can do?
I think Akiyama would be more of a person to answer that information than me.
He needs to hurry back. We really need his expertise. She glances over at Robbie.
Do you know what type of poison it was?
She shakes her head.
What was it? What were its effects? Was it necrotic? Was it something to get into his bloodstream?
I just know it was some kind of poison. I was able to remove it.
No, am I aware of the poison that they like to use?
That would be a certain kind of knowledge check.
Yeah. I have no idea what knowledge it could be.
You would have to look at your knowledge checks and try to figure out which would be the best. And then you would learn the information based off of your roll.
I see. Okay. First, let's do history, if it's one that I've seen.
Well, the thing is, you get one roll, and that'll be your general knowledge of it.
Ah, okay. Well, I mean, honestly, that's still the only option I would know, except for... No, I don't think anatomy would help me in any way, really.
Alright, go ahead and roll history then. So this seems to remind you of... Let's take it back to a time when Matt was younger. A time where he considered himself a devil. Go ahead and describe what the scene looks like as you enter into the doctor's room of an old-time client, one that worked side by side with the devils at time, creating them narcotics and different
I
poisons.
thought it was called Angel's Trumpets.
Angels, yes.
Dang it, even Knight is getting it wrong now.
It happens. Well, Matt will enter this room, this horribly sterile room. Glance around.
A level-toned voice would call out from one of the back rooms. You can close the door. You are my only visitor for tonight. At least one that will be walking.
Matt will close the door then. Do you want me to wait here?
No. Come in here. I could use the extra pair of hands.
Matt will walk slowly into the room the voice is coming from.
And as you do, you walk into an examination room. A cadaver is on the table as a man with snowy white hair and a pair of thin glasses is hunched over the corpse. The sound of slicing and the sound of basic gross noise would echo into the room as he's sitting there wearing an apron, gloves, and remaining as clean and pristine besides random artillery spray coming from the corpse. You'll have to forgive me. I still have a little work before we can enjoy ourselves.
Matt stays as far away, like pressed up against the wall opposite of this cadaver, keeping his gaze averted.
Now, can you do me a favor and grab that napkin? And as he says that, he turns his face to look at you. It's a calm and relaxed tone. He doesn't seem to be phased at anything that he's doing currently. And instead is just wearing a sharp, simple smile as there's artillery spray against his glasses and around his chin. It would be a big help if you could clean me off.
Okay. Matt will reach for a napkin and then, still trying to like not quite look at him directly, slowly approach.
Thank you. It's really a shame, this one. I do believe this is the work of your people.
In what way?
You feel a hand caress your cheek and a thumb brush against like your right underneath your eyelid. You shouldn't remain blind of the things that your people do, Matt. Look. Take a gander. as he would put his other hand over your shoulder and kind of gesture you in front of him.
Matt will slowly look towards the body.
The chest cavity of the body is open, and inside you can see the human's heart that seems to be gray in color, where the rest of the innards are a bright red. His heart and lungs seem to be just this deep, dark gray, as if they aged 60 or 80 years quicker than the rest of the body.
Seeing that, Matt swallows back some bile and glances away again.
No, dear. Look. This is what you are in. Do you understand why I want you to leave? This is what just an ounce of petal bloom can do to a person. It was not a short death. No. This poor person probably suffered 2 to 3 days before finally collapsing. As he would finally turn you around, Matt, holding your hand, or your cheek in his hands. This is why you should leave them and join me. You don't need to be in this life. I can make you happy.
I don't know. I think I'd upset some people if I quit so soon into my career.
The smile would slowly fade. Well, this will be my last attempt to change your mind. I'm done working. I think I would enjoy our time together then.
All right. Sounds good.
Go wash yourself up, please. I'd hate for somebody else's blood to be in the way. It's at that point you realize that your cheeks and your face are damp, as Crawford would move past you and continue to close up the body. As you move towards the sink, looking at the mirror, your face covered in the blood of that dead individual.
And would rush to clean myself off.
As that memory would end, taking you back into the noise of thunder and rain while looking down at Craw.
Yeah, I thought that was familiar.
You remember what it is?
It's a petal bloom.
It's a nice name for a poison, but doesn't look very pleasant. Do you know what the side effects are?
Slow, agonizing death.
see. Then I sincerely hope we got to crime.
Well, if you'll be able to extract from the body, then perhaps it hasn't dealt too much damage. I'd recommend you get some. No, I've got knowledge poison, so there's like petal bloom, like ringing the bells,
Looking in chat.
like treatments.
You have knowledge poison, you didn't roll it to see if you could figure out what poison this was?
Hey, Matt's having a moment.
What the fuck?
Look in Discord chat.
Yeah. But say like, don't know if like any treatments apart from, extract it and rest to get better.
At this point, for him, it depends on the damage that was dealt to him.
Well, without looking inside, I couldn't really say what's the best course of action right now. I'd definitely say rest. Arsus, you said you healed him?
I was able to remove whatever poisonous agent was in him, yes.
Okay, can you actually, like, heal his body?
I can try.
That might be wise. This thing burns for a person. So healing them might, undo some of the more negative side effects.
Alright, Philip, roll the heal.
Alrighty. Charm strength and minor heal. Is that it? Yeah, I think minor heal is the only thing she's got. Alright. She automatically succeeds that anyway. Alright, so yeah, putting her hand over her chest, she begins incanting again. Similar to the last incantation, she mentions mercy and heal this weak soul, and from her hand white light is cupped in its palm, and then she holds it out as the light exits it and then floats over Craw and then enters his body as it glows slightly as some of the healing magic starts to take hold. With 3 plus half his current con. Or con, I don't know.
And as the magic begins to take hold and take effect, it looks like for a short while, Craw's condition stabilizes. He's still sweaty and is breathing erratically, though it's not as bad as it was.
We should get him inside and have Akiyama look at him.
Yes, we should.
They should
As
be
soon
back
as
anytime.
Akiyama returns.
They should have been back at any point by now.
If that day was anything like ours, then they probably just got sidetracked. But yes, let's get them into a bed.
It must be important for them to be gone so long.
Matt, you would
But
feel
yes,
a hand caress
bed.
your cheek.
Who, me?
Matt.
Oh, okay. He'll follow it.
As you look down to see weakly reached out claw, caressing your cheek with his rather not gentle hand. As he has one eye open, giving off a toothy smirk before weakly whispering out towards you. Ruby.
Matt will grab Cross's hand. Hang in there, okay?
As the smile would fade and the eyes would close again. As he would go back to breathing heavily. Alright, that's all.
And everyone's gonna try moving him inside, hopefully.
As everyone is
Yep.
needed to move him inside.
Yes, everybody is needed for this.
Crawl, you fat fuck.
I got his left leg. I got his right leg. I got his middle leg.
Fat shamed him!
I got his middle leg.
Oh my god.
Machi got a bit leg, right?
So you all work towards getting Crawl back to a bed, as I assume, Matt, you don't leave his bedside.
Nah, I won't leave him. I'm holding his hand.
That's kind of gay.
Um,
It's really
Sorry.
gay. But meanwhile, Akiyama has closed the door as best as a door that doesn't have hinges can be closed.
sorry about that.
Which is not really much.
Yeah.
And you feel
And
that...
once he's got that 5, go.
No, you can.
Yeah, once he feels like he's got as much privacy as he's gonna get, a much more option than Akiyama's gonna shift his fox form. Because he requires the added ability to harness the helix that he has in that form. And once he shifts, he is going to attempt to cast. And when I say attempt, I think... No, he can fail, he can fail. No. Yes. Yes, he can. No. No, he can't. No, he can't.
Take your mind up.
Yeah, he is going to cast Nahim's Trespass, which it's a minute-long cast, which allows me to enter another creature's mind when they are unconscious or sleeping. I'm technically allowed to bring units in with me, but I'm not doing that. And I am allowed to ask questions when in the dream plane equal to my tail count, which is 6, so I'm allowed to ask 6 questions. And then the question is answered in a dreamlike performance of the scene. And at any point, if I were noticed to be noticed by the dreamer, I can make a bluff check versus their magic. If they succeed, the spell ends and they know they were under a spell. If I succeed, nothing happens. And every time we make this check, it's harder for me by 10. And the spell can last for 10 minutes for each tail I own or until I turn it off. And then after I've used it on a person, they're immune to it for the next 24 hours. That's it. So, Akiyama, now in his fox form, sits down, tries to get himself comfortable, because he's going to be staying in this position for a while, and places one of his hands on the woman's head, and his tails kind of splay out behind him, each pointing in different directions, as magic energy kind of comes off of him, resembling his birth months of void. As he channels it into her and tries to effectively force himself into her dreams. A bit, yeah. Not so much for what he's doing currently, more of what has been done already.
All right. So, casting a spell on her. It is going to be 3 more DC difficult. No, 2.
Okay,
That's 2
so I
for her.
can't alter. Okay. Actually, no, I think I... Yeah, no, I still do, because, so I have a 2d6 plus 4. It's a DC 10. I'm in my fox form, so I gain a plus 6. And, yeah, 2d6, lowest possible roll is a 12, which still succeeds, because it's DC 10.
So, you feel your fox magic gain the capability of piercing the plane of existence between Tillith and the dream plane. Your consciousness leaves your form, letting your physical body remain behind as it enters into the subplane of existence of this woman's dreams. Floating through here, it seems to be a mass of void as your consciousness flies deeper towards the center and towards your first scene, which is, what is your first question?
Okay. So, first question, I suppose we'll initiate with the, one I was basically told to ask, is where their base is. Or like their base of operations in this area, more accurate.
So your dream would open up, or her dream would open up, as you would find yourself walking onto the dock as you look down and see that you're looking at your own form. It's what you looked like before all the fighting.
Okay.
As you'd see her and the other witch hunter currently walking together. Are you sure that what we're doing is needed, honey? Trust me. The amount of good that we're going to be doing in this place is going to resonate for years. Yes, but... is he ready? What? Yama? Of course he is. We've been practicing this with him all these years. Yes, but that was just practice. There's a difference between practice and actual application. Well, he got your genes in him and mine. I think he's gonna do just fine. It's around this time a mass of bubbles would be appearing at the lake near the dock. And after a couple of minutes, the door, or like a door would open up as they would walk down into the lake where the bubbles were happening. And the door, which looks like opaque glass, would then begin to close behind them before the bubbles would eventually stop.
Oh. That answers that, though not too helpful. The second question: how do you get that to open up for you?
So, as that dream ends, you find your consciousness flying in the void once again. You look back and you can see the remnants of that dream still existing as it's slowly getting smaller and shrinking as you're moving through the void before turning, and it looks like you're about to enter into a next one. As you do, this one seems to be you as yourself again, but in a conference room. You need to make a bluff check.
Okay, I will. 73. So they take a -6.
So they're having a conversation, and as you enter into this room, her gaze would just turn towards the wall where you're standing and just peer at you for a moment. And you would stand there, standing still, before whatever she's looking at, before she could actually identify what it is. A woman would speak up. All right, so we got good news and, well, bad news. Good news is my brother is here, and he has identified that there is a witch in town. The bad news is that we lost contact with him. Well, looks like we gotta fish the kid out. Yeah? Correct. So, what are we doing waiting here? Well, that's just it. We have information that we're being given permission to use one of their bases on hand. Oh, well, why do we need to use one of their bases? It's because this one is only available to the royal family, which means that it will be safer for us to proceed with our operations with little influence by other witch influence within the city. That sounds like a good idea, ma'am, but why do we need to bring our son? Oh, honey, come on. This will be the first chance that he gets to see his mom and dad in action. Besides, I doubt there's going to be anything that will be a real issue. From the reports that I got from my brother, the witch that here is troublesome, but manageable. Their ability to manipulate the ruin craft is one that is of self-influence. Though, if there is a threat that we cannot properly assert or ascertain, you have my word that you and your family will be allowed to leave at post-haste. Last thing that we want is one of the first families that met and grown within the order to have an issue. See, honey, it's gonna be fine. The male witch hunter would pat his hand on her back as she would just look at him with steely eyes, but also blushing as he shows that affection. Well, one thing that's important to note that when you would want to enter it, it only allows entrance at midnight each night. And once you're there, you will have to enter a passcode when you walk down the staircase. Well, easy enough. What's the code? I can't tell you it. I have to write it down. Okay, that seems like unnecessary. Well, at any rate, just in case if anyone is compromised, this paper will make sure that it will be harder for interlopers to find out. See, this is why you're the boss. Yes, clearly. Well then, as she does, she would begin to write down on the paper. As Akiyama, you don't have a good clear shot of what she's writing down from where you're at.
Am I able to move?
Yes, you can.
I will attempt to move so I can get a look at that passcode.
As you move around to look at the paper, all that you see, even though she's writing on it, you don't see anything that she's writing, and the only thing you see is the symbol of owl looking off of the paper.
That's not very helpful. I was hoping that Hans would be on my side on this.
And after that, you're moved through that dream as it begins to fade in the void behind you.
I suppose there's no reason not to check. This is the passcode.
The next dream would find yourselves in the staircase leading downwards, which, again, you don't have many places for you to hide. Go ahead and roll another.
Nah, I don't feel like I want to. This time, I would like to activate Hidden Smile. It's a DC 4 on myself as a standard action. And it means that I don't need to be obscured to be hidden. And they need to be actively searching for me to see me. To, like, attempt to find me.
Okay. So go ahead and just roll a hide check then.
Okay. That I can't do. It's worth a shot, though. Maybe they don't have a passive spot.
So
They are sleeping, so
I'm
you
pretty sure everyone's got passive spot.
you begin to enter into this dream as they're heading down this wet staircase, and something that terrifies you is the idea that it looks like they're just walking in the water. There is no protection. There is nothing stopping the water from caving in on the staircase. They're just walking down the stairs that seems to walk into the lake.
Plain mysterious.
As they get down to the bottom of the staircase, a metal door looks to be stuck towards, or in front of them, even though there doesn't seem to be any building. Everything around just looks like water. Alright, what was that code again? As the witch hunter would go to a pad and begin to press buttons on it, as there seems to be 9 buttons in total in a rows of 3.
Oh, right. Big Aki focus moment.
Alright. So, what's your spot?
My spot is actually good. Ish. 38.
Alright. You watch as he presses the top left, bottom right, bottom left, top right, and middle.
So can you repeat that?
Top left, bottom left, top right, and middle.
Can you just write it down? You're saying it really quickly.
You motherfuck, you motherfuck, you motherfuck, and you motherfuck.
Hey, it's hard to keep track.
I'll give a temporary fate point to anyone that actually remembered what I said.
Fade point.
Top left, bottom right, top right, bottom.
Wrong.
Is it?
Was it gonna
It
be
was
just
top-
a Konami
it
code?
was-
Is it really?
Left, bottom, right. That's literally all I remember.
Yeah, that's all I can remember. I can't remember any of it.
I space out what?
I really struggle to remember patterns.
Same.
It's okay.
You guys are
I
terrible.
struggle to remember anything.
So I'm going to make a bunch
My
of
life-
pattern puzzles to kill you all off.
Please.
Oh, I like patterns, so it's don't like
Nice.
remembering.
You
them.
kill
Don't.
me IRL. Don't kill my character, just kill me IRL.
Thank you.
And after that is entered, the door would open, which just looks like it would open off into the crushing water. But instead, you watch as it enters into what seems like a well-lit facility. As they would walk in, and the door would close. And after the door closes, the water around you would begin to wave and eventually crash into itself. But before you begin to drown, you find yourself jettisoned out again out of that dream.
That answers the immediate ones. We've got 3 more. How about... Who is your leader?
As that one opens up simply to a scene where she is currently bowed down. And the woman that you saw debriefing them before is standing in front of her. There's no need to bow in this. You have to understand, though, if I'm going to be giving the protection of my family in your hands, then I am going to go by what your word is. Regardless of if I need to bow or not, I'm going to rely on you. As the woman would smile and take a knee and put her hand on the witch hunter that you are seeing through. As she just say in a very soft tone, "You are my sister, as your husband is my brother. We're sisters and brothers in this order. And I put my name as Demon's Bane behind that. At first is your safety." As that dream would end there.
She's not lying. What's all the barrels for? Explosives.
You enter into the room, and again, it falls into this scene similar to you being in the warehouse. But there's something different in this particular scene. This seems to be similar in the sense that you can tell it's a warehouse, but not immediately where you guys are at, either in this period of time, you think? Maybe this is something in the past. But, one second.
Oh. Okay. Be gone.
Something's going on.
No, you're leaving. Go away.
So,
Maybe I'm not.
You-
Yeah, yeah.
watch as she finishes overseeing the movement of the barrels. Her husband currently dealing with some of the more moving from different individuals as a person moves up next to her. So, Rabbi, what is the point of all of this?
Care to elaborate? I thought this was fairly self-explanatory.
Is there a reason why we're holding these particularly here?
Do you want to hold them somewhere else?
Yes,
Somewhere where they could be found quite easily?
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to insult you. It's just, I thought you were on vacation towards the west. I didn't expect you to still be
I
here.
am. Of course I am. But, well, not towards the west. I'm heading west. You know, there comes a time in every man's vacation where he has to decide whether he's going to pass up work that needs to be done. And I chose not to.
Look, I understand that if this is to do with your family and trying to keep yourself busy, trust me, I don't know what I would do with myself if I lost my family. I just am worried about you.
Don't need to be worried. This is purely work-related.
But you haven't been really acting yourself lately, Rabbi.
You think you would?
I mean, let's go to the Grey Clerics. Let's just make sure that everything's fine. You said that you dealt with a witch, and you've denied access of people to make sure that you're not hexed for some time.
If it were that simple, then we would have already done that. This is what needs to happen. We need to be direct here. No more half measures. We have the evidence. We need to act.
And what about this Delta?
What about them?
You know that I was the best hunter in the Corps. I've seen you obsess about this Delta. What is it?
It's something important. Something that can tip tights in our favor. And the gods only know how far behind we are.
Then tell me what's in these barrels. Is this
These
Delta?
barrels? No. These barrels are nothing but stepping stones.
And at that, Ravi would say with a smile before turning on his heel and then walking out of the door before she would look there, confused with what was just said, before looking at the barrels once again, but trusting her hunter ally as you're jettisoned out of the dream.
fucking tell him I'll slay you, boy.
Oh, hi.
Big boy secrets.
Oh my god, you interrupted a story at the perfect moment there.
Yeah, Sarah set her hair on fire, and she was like, I tried to light it, and I accidentally lit my... And she just left.
I was
the
trying to
fire.
light my weed stick, and then I accidentally lit my bangs.
How do you fuck up that badly?
I was leaning forward.
I mean, Sarah has a lot of hair.
This
How
is
can you
true.
not burn that?
So,
It's alright.
that will be all
I've
from that
got
question.
one more question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was going to ask, following on that question, is there a way to disable it? But judging by what was said there, she doesn't know, so kind of irrelevant. What I am going to ask is, have they been working with anyone? Oh, so that's the wrong way of wording it. Who have they been working with outside of the Witch Hunter organization? Because that's a better way of wording it. Because then if there's no one, it just doesn't happen.
So the scene would open up this time in a lavish room with what looks like trophies along the walls of different beasts and whatnot that have been slain, killed, conquered. And in this room, you see a bunch of different witch hunters along the lines of the one that she saw that's her husband. She turns around to look to see her son is behind her with other individuals similarly dressed as him, as well as other witch hunters that you have not seen or who you don't know who they are or anything like that. And at this point, as she's looking around, she seems to be looking around with curiosity, as if something is amiss. Which, make a hide check.
Okay. 5.
Alright, so now you need to make a bluff as she's looking around as if the continual dream jumping is starting to make her curious on what's happening.
Alright, so they take a -6, and I have decided that I really just don't want to fail this one, so I'm also going to push gregarious, and they take a -3 equal to my tail count. Oh, no, -3 equal to each of my tail count, so I've got 6 tails, 18. And then there's the other 6, so they take a -24.
Was that needed?
Hmm?
So was that...
I don't know, maybe.
Goodness. So no, like, yeah, she can't win. That. Jeebus. But as you're watching, it seems to be clear that this is a large assortment of different witch hunters. There's about 20 in total that you can see around you. And for what reason that they're here, too sure. But as you have your attention pull back onto her, you can hear her begin to speak to her husband. It's like, Why are we working with them? Well, to be fair, honey, it's not really our choice to make. I mean, you know what the boss said, and apparently this is a valid contract, so... And it's at that point there's just a hush as a Abaddon with light pink skin that's almost gray in color would walk out, a golden gauntlet in her left arm that seems to move, or seems to look like it's more than a gauntlet, more like just a complete mechanical replacement. Dressed in a fine crimson colored gown with white accents on it, with 2 gold paladrins over her shoulder. You would recognize this as the woman that is basically the deacon here in Xandrar. She would come in and take a seat. I'm glad that you all have come here today at my request. I will be giving you all information notice that will be privy to you all, and no one else in this room. My city is infested with witches. I've been doing my best to try to keep their plight in control, but unfortunately, I have not been able to succeed. This is why I ask your order to assist me in this. The Council choose to ignore this. Instead, they wish to sit on their collective asses and let my city rot from the inside. I've also made the attempt of finding people to help deal with some of that rot that will be dealt with in the coming weeks. With that distraction, I would like you all to attack the head nest of this witch's coven and their cultist. And I would like to see them burned. And at that point, the dream would move past you.
That is all the questions I can ask.
As you find yourself moving forward, you expect this to end as you think you've never done this before. As the darkness continues to move forward before you look forward and see another dream approaching, which is strange, as you didn't ask a question.
That is strange.
You would enter it and plunge yourself into the dream. And as you start to pay attention and bring your consciousness to bear, you're sitting in a chair. A cup of tea is in your hand. And the understanding of where you are, you think you're in some kind of a log cabin. You look about and you can see a vase with sunflowers in them, with a fire in the fireplace before you.
Yeah, Kiel was looking around. Is there anyone up here?
You look around in confusion before you can hear from behind you, coming from the kitchen area. You do not need to stress, just sit down and I will get something for you to eat.
Akiyama will wait. He wants to raise his voice and ask where he is, but he's still not sure if he's in someone else's dream or not, or what this is. So I suppose in the meantime, this dream does it smell real?
It does.
Does it taste real?
Do you try to drink it?
Try to drink the dream tea.
You drink the dream tea. It is real. It tastes warm, but most importantly, familiar. A hint of honey dashed with lime, with the subtle rosy tint of the tea, brings you back into memories that you had long ago. You also see in front of you a cloak of dove currently hung on a hook that looks like it hasn't been touched in a while. Or not dove,
You should swan.
swan.
Okay. Yeah, I was starting to get a feeling. A bad feeling. About what this might be.
A hand would reach past you and place what seems to be cookies with shredded chicken on them.
Okay.
As well as deviled eggs and different finger foods.
And Akiyama will turn.
So, describe this middle-aged Tobu woman that Akiyama looks up to.
Oh no.
Okay. So yeah, she's about 5'7" like long, I suppose Toby said black hair. She's pretty good looking, but like not astounding. Enough that like someone would be happy to be with them, but like not people wouldn't obsess over their looks. And like she looks like a very kind of approachable, friendly person. Definitely doesn't look like a kind of person who like gets into fights or anything. There's no real scarring or injuries about them. The skin seems pretty soft, so it looks like they keep pretty good care of themselves. There's no calluses on their hands. It doesn't look like they're a labourer.
How have you been, my little snow fox? She'd say with a smile.
What are you doing here?
To be honest, I didn't know it would take you this long to find me.
What do you mean find you?
You
What
finally,
is this?
you finally made your way to the dream plane.
Right.
I do hope you haven't forgotten my name in the time we haven't seen each other.
I wonder if I get your name Iwanaga. It's been a while, and my memory when it comes to names isn't usually the best, but I'd like to think we shared a bit more than something that could be so easily forgotten.
Names can be something difficult to remember in people that can live as long as we can.
We?
Oh, yes. I just figured that you heard what you were told by one of my coven mates.
So that's true then.
She would tap the side of her glass a couple of times with her thumb.
And the swan worship? Was that just a cover?
I believe at the time I did truly believe it. But there's some things that belief is not good enough to get the attention of.
What's that supposed to mean?
Swan didn't accept me, so no, I didn't believe it. But I did enjoy bringing others into meeting a better life through them. Did you have a better life?
Guillaume just kind of shrugs. I suppose so. Though it's been a lot harder recently.
I see that you found the staff.
You were aware about this?
Every self-respecting witch is aware of that one.
But you say it as if I was supposed to find it.
Well, I hope that you would find it. Soothsaying only gives so many possible outcomes. Some of them might not be along the right path. Some are.
I hate to sound like a moral busybody, but I'm sure you're aware the ruin magics aren't exactly the best of things.
Oh, my dear snow wolf, or snow fox. I taught you better than to just accept everything you hear. There can be good in anything that you do if you truly try.
Possibly, but ruin magic is dangerous and harmful.
People are dangerous.
There's an application of it which is safe. I don't know about it.
People are dangerous. Yet we still believe that they can be good. And if there is not an application you know of, does that mean there's the lack of it existing?
Not necessarily, but I would at least like to hear the justification of why that's the path you led from your own mouth.
Because I want to see us excel in life. The world is destined to repeat itself over and over. From one slight to another, from one civilization rising to the fall of another. I just want to see all this senseless violence stop.
And how do you plan on going about that?
Well, I wouldn't want to ask this from you, and I wouldn't want to force it either. But for something like this to happen, I would need the aid of that staff. But I am not asking it from you, and I wouldn't want to take it from you, because that's not why I'm here. I'm honestly glad that we get to have this conversation again.
Don't really know how to feel, to be honest. You still didn't answer my question. What do you plan on doing? You told me you need the staff, but what do you need it for?
To be able to find a way to stop ruin in the way that it hurts others. And use it to bring people up instead of down.
So, what do you need it for? Research?
In a lighter sense, yes.
And you're utilizing the magic, not the ruin entities.
Yes. Why can't we seem to make amends or ally with the ruinous powers? Why are they so violent and hateful to us? Before every answer would just be because that's just how they are. But nothing is truly evil, Akiyama. There has to be a reason. It's just no one understands them.
Maybe it's not something worth understanding.
Akiyama, you know better than that. That's the first thing I taught you. Every life is worth redemption.
I don't see why they have to come into our plane and done what they did.
Well, if we don't give them the chance to try to understand and explain themselves, are we really showing love in that?
I think they had their chance. First time round. I think we saw how that went.
Oh, my dear Snow Fox, life has been cruel to you, hasn't it?
Don't really see how that's relevant right now.
Even if they hurt you, you need to forgive them. Even if they hurt you again, you need to forgive them again. Forgiveness is not a single-time offer. Forgiveness is forgiveness.
I would like to agree, but what I've seen, I think I struggle to easily accept.
She'd put a hand on your hand that's holding the cup. You're a good person, Akiyama Soza.
Well, it's at the very least nice to see you again.
It is also nice to see you one last time.
Though, admittedly, if you want the staff, you'll probably have to pick it off of my corpse at this rate. Things have not been going well.
If you wish to hand it to me, you can do it here.
Akiyama shakes his head. I would rather not.
Be careful. That artifact has corrupted many people throughout the years.
No. And well, I would rather not have to risk using such a thing. Where I am now, with the things that I've been facing, I need what it can give.
It's at this point you start to notice the existence of this room is slowly starting to break apart, like snow falling off of reality. Every single piece slowly turning into void as it trickles down into the darkness. I understand. You do the good that you can do, Akiyama.
I'll try.
And know that I will always love you for who you are, regardless of what you've done.
And that hurts Akiyama. He's been trying to play a brave face, but hearing that hurts him. Right.
Goodbye, Akiyama. At this point, the snowing effect seems to be also affecting her as it's going up her legs slowly, as she's breaking apart in pieces.
Will we meet again?
Maybe.
I hope we do.
The last thing that you see of her is her smile, as it just is warm before it mouth "I love you" before snowflaking away. Which, at this point, your consciousness drafts back into your own form. The sound of rain would pick up again louder as you'd look down and the witch hunter is still unconscious before you.
That is good. And Akiyama's gonna shift back to form as he sits and contemplates what he's seen, what he's heard.
But around this time, Val opens the door as he begins to explain how you all need to leave, as it looks like people might be coming.
The items, there are some people outside. We gotta go.
Right, right.
Val looks down at her. Akiyama.
I'm not killing her.
What do you suppose we do?
Nothing. Leave her.
She knows our faces. Your face, Akiyama.
Fine, let her.
Val looks at him incredulously. That's a witcher.
A witch hunter, we knows our face.
If you're talking about Ravi, I think that's a little different. He's at least attempting to be on our side.
Do you know that for certain? You know Rabi was the one behind the barrels being here. He's been stockpiling them.
Okay, well, I guess he's a dick then. Great. Well, we got it. She looks down at her. Another witch hunter in this whole thing does not make it any better. She's gonna have a clear revenge thing against you.
Fine.
Trellick looks between her back at him. Okay, the only reason I'm letting this go down is because it's not our problem anymore. Just take care of yourself, please.
I think we're a bit beyond that.
Just looks down at her, contemplating for a second, but then shakes his head. Alright, well, we still need to go.
Kiyama nods and he gets up. Let's get out of here.
Alright. Yeah. Also, because people are now coming around, just gonna unsummon the diadem. For reasons, but yeah. The diadem's now gone.
So Mirnok and Boy, you watch as Akiyama and Val come out of the interrogation room, putting the door back up, but not bringing the witch hunter.
As they are coming down, Murloc seems to be busy trying to help Frey by... Even if the Surmata is working against him, he's taking some of his clothes to try and basically help him cover up. Just being like, okay, angry with me or not, we need to get you somewhere safe. You're coming with me. Yes, it's not yourself. You're coming, like it or not.
Boy just sits kind of a few feet away, awkward, like a child caught between a fight of adults.
Alright, I need to get out of here.
Everybody
Where did I
right?
see the people coming from?
You see a boat slowly coming towards this dock over the lake.
Okay. There's a boat coming. Let's just head back outside of this place and go back inland.
Quicker we out of here, the better.
Yeah. Any, other than what you just told me, any other urgent information we need to know?
Well, I know how to get into the base.
Alright, good. Anything about the prince?
Beyond the fact that that is the base where they would normally be using, no.
So
Hopefully he's there.
Any idea if he's in danger or not?
Val,
Shrugs.
we don't have time to play 20 questions right now.
Right. We'll do this back at the church. Alright, let's go.
Boy, do you think you can help me with him?
Carry him back to the church? That's what you mean?
Yeah, he means like help him with Frey because, you know, Marinok is still very shaken.
Okay.
Are we about to end? Because I need to go.
We're about to end, yes.
Okay, good.
Alright.
But you'll leave when I say you'll leave.
The bell doesn't excuse you either.
How was that, Dice?
Oh my god, Matt, come on.
All right, Knight, your teacher is showing.
Aura.
I was gonna say daddy, but okay, Cam.
Bro. Alright, so boy will help Verloc.
Oh, you broke them. Good job.
You broke Stella. Good job.
But you all would quickly and attempt it quietly escape into the rain that is currently overcasting your position. And within that time, that hour once, Arsis, Matt, and Rabbi, plus Ambrosia, would place the unconscious Craw on the bed. The door towards the temple would open up as you would hear that people are home. Rabbi Ambrosia and Matt, do you go to check?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ambrosia does.
Yes. No, I'll see with Craw.
As we get grass settled, Ravi will say to Matt, "I'll go get Akiyama. He should help."
I'll go with him.
Matt nods.
If anything happens, shout. Okay.
Sure thing.
Good.
Matt, if you want to go, I can wait with him.
Matt shakes his head. I'm okay here.
Very well. Arsis would get up and grip you on the shoulder. We'll talk later about what happened with you today. Alright?
Matt nods solemnly.
Before Arsis would join Ambrosia and Rabbi, as the three of you would go to greet the other half of the group, as Akiyama, Boy, Val, and Mirnok would walk through the door.
Akiyama, thank the gods you're back. Something's happened. Grad needs your help. Come on.
What?
Grad
He's been poisoned.
what's it called?
One of the
Yeah.
angel's trumpets poisoned him, and Arsis was able to get most of it out, but we're still worried that we need you to look at him.
Ikiyama. Right. Talk
He's
after.
in bed. This is treated him, but you should look.
I've done the best that I can,
I don't
but
know, doesn't even.
my magic is limited.
Yeah, Ikiyama's just it's just like poison is immediately going off.
Yeah. You should also look at Robbie afterwards. He was attacked.
It's fine. It's just a knock to the head. I'll be alright.
I was just looking Ravi up and down, mean mug.
Mernogus just giving him a fucking death glare.
Ambrosia blinks and looks at them. Did something happen? Why are you looking at him like
To
that?
it.
Akiyama would go to the
Probably
back.
by now would be noticeable that Mernog is alongside Boy carrying a very hurt person under some very haphazardly set up clothes so that they can cover them completely from the rain.
Thank gods, okay. Yusuf, with me. Go on. Let's go this way.
By the gods, there's a lot been going on today.
Ravi?
We'll look afterwards. Let's get your friends settled. Quick.
Stand aside.
He's not in the best mood with witch hunters, Ravi. I'll take him there.
Okay.
You and
you-
I have to talk.
Okay, I enjoy our talks.
He's just gritting his teeth, but they're in the church. He's already in hot water with Akiyama.
Okay, guys,
More
I gotta go right
importantly,
now. I'm
right now,
sorry.
with the simmering of everything that's happened.
Bye.
Bye, Peach.
Bye, Philip.
With the simmering of everything that's happened, there is an emotion that is coursing through Veronok that is oh so terrifying to him. Shame about what happened there. He looks barely restraining the instinct to murder.
And Bruce is just looking between them, just like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, you asking me? I have no idea. Look like they've been through hell.
Oh fuck, I'm so sleepy. Um, Boy shakes off any water off of him like a dog and just looks at you and smiles. Where did I get someone's hands off?
What?
Yes, it's like, boom, done. Interesting. It was a good cut.
Why?
I don't really got the why. Akiyama got mad. Now they're both
We'll get to
mad.
that conversation when we get to it.
Mintak, you're still here. I thought you were getting your friend to bed. Come on, quickly.
As you all would be rushed to your own positions. The rain is the last thing that we see pittering on the rooftop of the Church of Swan. That's where we're going to end it this week.
Hurrah.
Yay!
Yay.